In the middle of a high school wrestling match, a 16-year-old girl looks to her mother in the stands and mouths the words, "Her fingers are in my private parts." Just like that, a single moment in a Washington State gym has exploded into a national firestorm over the line between inclusion and safety in girls' sports. What started as a local high school match has now become a criminal investigation and a federal civil rights probe, placing this incident right at the center of the debate over transgender athletes. On December 6th of 2025, Kaylee Keeler, a sophomore and experienced wrestler at Rogers High School in Puyallup, Washington, stepped onto the mat for what she thought was just another match. Her opponent was a transgender athlete from Emerald Ridge High School. During the competition, while face down, Kaylee says her opponent reached between her legs and very forcefully for several seconds tried to push her fingers in her vagina. In a video her mother was taking, you can see Kaylee's expression change to confusion, then panic. She later said she just wanted the match to be over, so she let her opponent pin her just to end it. She told her parents what happened as soon as she got off the mat. At that point, Kaylee didn't know her opponent was a biological male. A coach from another school told her afterwards, which she said left her shocked. 2 days later, on December 8th, her family emailed the school's coaches, flagging the incident and calling it a huge issue. What happened after the match is where this story gets even more complicated. Despite the family's immediate complaint, nearly 2 months went by with what they described as deafening silence. The Puyallup School District didn't report the sexual assault allegation to the police until January 30th of 2026. This only happened after the media outlet Undivided started asking the district questions about the incident on January 29th. The school district released a statement saying student safety is a top priority, but didn't give any specifics. This wasn't happening in a vacuum, though. Media reports revealed that at least a dozen other female athletes had already complained to administrators about two males being in the girls' locker room, suggesting the school was aware of ongoing issues. Once they were finally notified, the Pierce County Sheriff's Office launched a criminal investigation. They reviewed the video of the match, and by mid-February of 2026, the case was forwarded to the county prosecutor's office to review for a possible rape charge. A spokesperson said it was still too early to know if charges would be filed. This story is developing fast, and this local incident didn't stay local for long. It has escalated all the way to the federal government. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what happens next.
Get to your base! Get to your base! Get to your base! I don't know what she said to you, why her face looked like.
This needs to be investigated. Yeah, when you wrestle, when you do things, there could be inadvertent hand positions and different things like that. But the boy shouldn't even be out there against a girl in the first mother freaking place. The fact that y'all didn't let a boy get out there and do the girl, that's a problem right there. Where are the men in the room that got courage? Look at the one, the bald head one back there. What y'all doing back there? You just sitting around watching a boy fight a girl because you a wuss. What men, how they making these men nowadays? I can't sit and watch a boy fight a girl in wrestling, and I'm sitting there like a wuss, just sitting there watching it happen. No, that boy beating up on this girl, and I'm watching it.
Get to your base! Get to your base! Get to your base! I don't know what she said to you, why her face looked like that. Get to your base! 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 Get to your base!
So that's an example of what the girl is saying. Clearly she has distortion on her face because something happened. She claims that the girl, which we know is a boy, put his hand in her crotch. All right, go to the next clip.
teen athlete says she was sexually violated by a trans wrestler and the school district did nothing. So this story centers around a 16-year-old sophomore at Rogers High School in Puyallup. Her name is
All right,
Callie
I think you
Huber.
guys
You'll
got
hear
it.
from her momentarily.
Puyallup is in Washington State, and this is where people's dreams go to die. Unless you're a conservative and you fight through it. This is the silliest place to live well, not the silliest. There's places way sillier. But these districts in Washington State and Oregon and some of these leftist cities, they just doing the craziest stuff. Letting these boys beat up these girls like this. For what? What is the point? Now, here's the girl's statement on the interview. I want to play a little bit of what she had to say. I'm going to have to go through this quickly, y'all. So bear with me. Roll the clip.
And that has never happened, like, out of all the years I've wrestled.
Because you do get, you're on the mat and you're trying to flip people and pin people. But all those years through elementary and middle school, you'd never had anything like that happen to you.
No.
Next clip.
So in the moment, what do you think?
I told my mom, like, right after the match, and I couldn't find my coach,
Okay.
like, after the match because there were other matches going on. And then a different coach from another school came up and talked to me about that match.
Okay, and did they, because they had seen something, or did they just talk, generally speaking? Like, what did they want to tell you?
They wanted to tell me that it was a biological boy that I was wrestling.
Wow.
And so, yeah.
So
Next clip.
what was your reaction? You're telling people on camera about it. Why is it so important for you to, not only have this debate, come to a head, but it's that important where you're willing to talk about this publicly?
Because, like, women's wrestling has just grown so much within the past couple of years, and I don't want it to, like, shrink again with just, like, this whole situation going on.
Yeah. Would you have reported to your coach the unwanted touching had it not been a boy?
Yes.
So even if it had been a girl, that was, like, weird enough and concerning enough that you would have brought that to your coach?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you say to people? This whole debate's happening right now in our state, obviously, and we have an initiative that would protect girls' sports and say, if you're a biological boy, you can't participate. I'm sure you've seen some of the hate that we get, some of the hate that even teen athletes get. We have a couple girls who've been really outspoken about these issues, and sometimes they need, like, armed security when they go places. Why do you think people get so upset at female athletes when they advocate against that?
I honestly couldn't even tell you. Like, everyone voices their own opinions, but people just get, like, more mad at certain athletes than others.
All right, cool. I got to get to the next story. In post-production, we'll add a couple of these clips. We have a clip of another influencer talking about this. Some of the full clips of her interview with that young lady, we'll put that out there as well. But, it is crazy. Let's show what that boy looked like. I mean, y'all out here tripping. Boy looked like his daddy with a wig on. Stop playing. I don't know why people think this makes sense, man. You can listen, if you want to be a girl like that, you can do that. Why disenfranchise or infringe on somebody else's freedoms, and why interfere with somebody else's ability to win wrestling matches? You got an unfair advantage. That's why you win every time. Don't do other women like that if you really want to advocate for women. And for you cowards out there, let me just not say nothing, because I got strong words to say to people like that I would love to have a physical confrontation with some of these people.
February 13th, 2026, the U.S. Department of Education Office for Civil Rights, also known as OCR, announced it was launching a directed Title IX investigation into the Puyallup Dulap School District. Title IX is a federal law that bans sex-based discrimination in any school that gets money from the government. The federal probe is looking into three huge questions. Did the district violate Title IX by letting males compete in female sports, by letting them into female locker rooms, and by failing to properly respond to the sexual assault allegation? The language from federal officials had been incredibly strong. The Assistant Secretary for Civil Rights, Kimberly Ritchie, called the allegations sickening and accused the district of putting ideological agendas over student safety. U.S. Secretary of Education Linda McMahon posted on X, Too many women have been injured, harassed, and deprived of opportunities they work hard for. Title IX is the law. Follow it or face consequences.
Today, the Department of Education, alongside the Department of Justice, is proud to announce the creation of the Title IX Special Investigations Team, consisting of attorneys and investigators from both of our agencies to adjudicate our ever-increasing volume of Title IX investigations. We have received a staggering number of complaints about men competing in women's sports and invading women-only intimate spaces. That's why we're partnering with Attorney General Bondi's team to move even faster in order to protect women and girls. The establishment of this team will benefit women and girls across this nation who have been subjected to discrimination and indignity in their educational activities. To all entities receiving federal funding who continue to allow these illegal practices, we will not permit you to trample on women's rights any longer.
So, what begins on a wrestling mat in Washington has spiraled into a criminal case in a major federal civil rights battle. It throws a harsh spotlight on the growing conflict between state level policies aimed at inclusion and a federal push to enforce Title IX based on biological sex. As of now, the investigations are still ongoing.